Hello students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we have just discussed some conceptual problem and numerical problem in various chapters like fluid mechanics and waves. We have discussed that all. So today let's discuss first in one by one the chapter that we have studied, and that is going to come in your term 2 examination. So first chapter, as you know, for the column from elasticity to wave, this is now the chapters or the topic that are going to come in term 2 examination. So let's start our revision first on the topic elasticity. So at least 1 or 2 days we will make revisions, then we will discuss again the conceptual and numerical problems on the chapter, and also in classes we are discussing questions already. So let's see here. First of all, the revision on the chapter elasticity. It is just like the short summary or short notes on the chapter for you, and you can just see or remind that whether you know this one or not, you have reminded this one or not. So in this revision, the first thing that is in the topic of or chapter of elasticity, what we have studied up to now. So in that chapter we have studied the first thing, what is the elasticity? What do you mean by the elastic and plastic materials? Why this property is important to study, where we can utilize this one, and what are the factors that are needed to study to understand the just elastic behavior of any material, and which kind of curves we have to draw. So this is all that we have studied in the things. Like every topic that we are studying, we need to know its purpose. After that, we need to know the process of the learning of that topic, and then how can we apply, utilize in our daily life, or in for the improvement of or just to, you can say, for some new innovation or already where we are using. So let's see first of all what is the elasticity, and as before that one, first line I just want to tell you, and number of times I was telling in class also. Here if you need to know about the elasticity chapter, you need to understand configuration point. What is the word meaning of the word configuration? So the configuration means how can we understand the construction of any material. So a material's construction can be understood by, first of all, is shape and size, you can understand it. Second one, in more mathematical or physical term, if you will go like by the volume, you can understand by area, by length. This is all from which its configuration we can understand. So configuration is including these topic or study of these topic, how these are varying. So here in the chapter elasticity, we have seen 3 types of changes were possible in the case of the elasticity, that was along the length, along the volume, or the change in the shape. So according to these one, we have 3 types of stress, strain, as well as we have 3 types of elastic constants. Now let's start our chapter with the topic of after configuration. Let's start what is now the elasticity, what are the elastic material and plastic material. So first if you will apply any force on some material, then some of the material you have seen they deformed in their size. Like if you have any thin wire, you have started to stretch that wire by applying some force at its one end, and one end we have kept fixed, and that time the wire start to stretch out. Similarly, like if you have any spring, you are taking that spring that you started to apply the force to extend it or to compress it. So you are seeing in both of the cases spring starts to get deformed, or the wire starts to get deformed. And if we have removed that stretching force, means if we are pulling that, so remove that, we don't want to further pulling that one. So if the body is capable to get their original configuration, means original shape, without any kind of deformation, then that kind of bodies are known as elastic bodies or elastic material. And the force that we are applying to deform its shape, that is known as deforming force. So we are just saying that when we are applying some deforming force to any material, and if the material is capable to gain its configuration, again without any amount of change in its configuration, then that is known as a perfectly elastic body. If 100% configuration it can gain, if somewhat configuration it will lose, like you have seen if you are stretching, some of the wire is getting just like the free, then in that case it means some deformation is permanently established. So that case 100% regain in configuration is not possible. But so that kind of material as elastic means somewhat it tried to regain its original shape and size or configuration. So and plastic materials are what, like you will see the example of wax, mud. So in these are of if you will apply the force, then easily they are deformed, and if you will remove the force, like by hand, if you are just putting the force, and if you will remove your hand, then sorry student, after that again body is not getting its original shape and size. So it means that bodies don't have the properties of elastic, be the elasticity, then that's why they are known as plastic material. Now what is the elasticity? The material, the quality of the material to regain its original shape and size when we will remove the deforming force, then that is known as elasticity property. Also one more just definition is here for the elasticity, that is if we will apply the deforming force but body is not getting deformed, like on the steel, if you will start to apply the deforming force, like steels what you are using at our home, also in kitchenware, whatever we are using these days, that are made up of the steels. So that why we are using steel there, reason is that steel can bear a greater deforming force, it cannot be deformed easily. So this is also one of the definition of elasticity. The body that is not getting deformed easily, that is also known as the elastic bodies. So this is now all about the elasticity property. Now next topic after this, how can we understand elasticity, on which factor it is depending on. So the first factor on the elasticity is depending on how much deforming force you are applying. If you will apply a small deforming force or large deforming force, it will be greater changed in configuration. So according to that one, the next first topic that you have studied already, that is now the topic of stress. So stress is what now, just like in your daily life you are familiar with this particular name stress, that is just like where somewhere pressure is applying. So pressure is what, that is again force per unit areas. This is just like the same case. If somewhere we are applying some force to deform the body per unit area, that is called stress. So one of the definition is just elongate or to change in the configuration of the body, whatever the deforming force applied on the body to per unit area, this is known as now stress. But in books you are seeing some different definition. So you have seen that restoring force per unit area is called stress. Now what is this restoring force? So as if the body has elastic property, then if we will apply some deforming force, it will be deformed. Then after removal of the deforming force, it starts to regain its shape and size. It means if it is regaining its configuration, then some internal forces are acting to regain it. So that internal force that is acting to regain the configuration of material, that is known as restoring force. So for here in this chapter, as you know, we have studied only for the case where if we will remove the deforming force, body will regain its whole shape and size. So it means that within elastic limit we are going to study all the factors. So that's why you can also write whatever the deforming force we will apply, that will be equal to the restoring force to recover completely the configuration after removal of deforming force. So we can also write stress in another definition, that is restoring force applied by the body per unit area. So this is deforming force applied on the body per unit area, and this is now the restoring force applied by the body per unit area. This is now the restoring force. So this one is, I think, again clear. Now according to this one, as we can apply the force by two ways, like we can apply normal force or force from normal direction and also from some tangential direction. So according to that one, we have three types of stress. So first type of stress here, that that is called longitudinal stress. Also we are calling it normal stress. So exactly, normal stress is the more general thing. Normal stress is again divided into two parts, longitudinal stress and volumetric stress. So here, as you are aware of already normal stress, so for revision only I am taking the concept of longitudinal stress. So longitudinal stress is now what? The deforming force applied to deform the body's length per unit area, that is known as longitudinal stress. So it is now related with the deformation of only length, not in any other thing. Now the second type of stress we have, that is volumetric stress. Volumetric stress is now what? It is now the deforming force per unit area that is used to deform the volume of the material. So it means it is completely related with the change in volume only. Whatever the force you are applying to change in volume per unit area, that is known as volumetric stress. Now the third type of stress, that is called shearing stress, or we are also calling it tangential stress, another name of this one, because here we are applying tangential force to deform the shape of the body. So it means now whenever you are applying tangential force, you can deform shape of the body. Now if some of the figure I will use to describe these things. So here for the longitudinal stress, suppose any wire you have, and this is now the wire, its length you have to increase, you are applying some normal force per unit area of this wire in this direction, then that time wire will start to get stressed along its length. So this deforming force per unit area, when that is causing the change in length, that is called longitudinal stress. Now the second one, here if you will use, suppose this kind of any spherical ball or any two-dimensional bodies you have, the deforming force is applied from all possible directions, then that time its volume will start to change now. So this kind of force that is used to apply to change the volume, that is known as now volumetric stress. The third one, if we have to change the shape, suppose we have these kind of two-dimensional or three-dimensional bodies, you can also, not only I am saying two-dimensional, here in volume three-dimensional also can be. So in that case also you say this is possible. So if one end you are keeping fixed about the tangent, you are applying a force, then due to the application of force, this body will start to deform by its shape in this way. So you can see this is now the deformation is shape by the application of force. So that's why we are getting now this kind of deformation that is called or stress, that is called this shearing stress. Now after that, how much body is strained, just deformed, how can we understand this one? It means we have applied the deforming force, and how many ways we can deform the length, volume and shape, what kind of force we need to apply, we have studied that one. Now how can we understand how much degree of deformation we have caused in the system after the application of deforming force? So for that one, for a complete information of deformation, we need again a new quantity, physical quantity that need to describe here. That is now the strain, we are calling that strain. So let's see what is now the strain here. So the first one in the same strain is what? This is now the next definition that you have studied, and you know the definition of the strain, that is the change in configuration to the original configuration. So as here this is just like the comparison. If we are applying the deforming force, then how can we compare it? If we know about the original configuration of the body, we can compare and we can easily understand how much it is deformed. So this is very easy definition for the strain, that is now change in configuration to the original configuration. So this is word is very important, configuration. And if you can understand it, you can understand all the concept. So configuration included 3 topics as here, that is the first topic, it includes now length, volume and shape, that is the 3 topics are written here. Now in the same case, if the first one, there is the deformation in length. So according to this concept, the definition should be for the string, change in length upon original length. For this one, the definition should be change in volume upon original volume, so that we can know how much volume is changed. Third one, the change in shape upon original shape. So it means we can have also the 3 types of strain depending on the change here. So we can now, these 3 types of changes we have also. So this is first called, that is longitudinal strain. So longitudinal strain is what now? Definition is very clear, just now I have told you. This is volumetric strain. Now the third type of strain is our shearing strain, that is used to change the shape of the bone. So now we have complete information how much force we are needed to change the configuration and how much the configuration is distorted or deformed. Now let's see what is the elasticity, how the 2 quantities are related to the elasticity. So to know that, first we need to know one of the experiment performed by the scientist, that was Hooke. So let's see the performing this first experiment of Hooke's now. So as just like the I'm just using to recall your knowledge here. So just the first one, as you know, for the Hooke's law here. First again I just want to remind you, Hooke's law is, or all these things that we will study here, that is only valid up to when if you will remove the deforming force, body will regain its original configuration completely. Means we are going to work in within elastic limit. Later I will tell you what is the concept of within elastic limit also. So here this is now Hooke's law. For Hooke's law, he has done one of the experiment. He has taken one spring. This experiment you will perform also in laboratory also. So this one is one of the just simple spring. You can also just perform at your home also. So just take one of the spring, attach some masses here. So here this mass is variable. This spring should be fixed. This end is free. Now what we have to do, you can also attach this scale with this one. Now continuously what he has done, he has just used to attach some scale also here. On this scale, on this ruler, he was used to know what is the original length of the spring. First of all, this is now the original length of the spring. You know that. Next one, when we have started to attach some mass, so due to attachment of mass, some load we are applying to it. So this is now the load that we are applying. So due to application of load, this spring will start to extend. So he has started to calculate on the application of load how much extension is created in the spring, and for number of different loads like 5 kg or 5 gram, 10 gram, 15 gram, different masses you are keeping, and you are seeing how much strain is created in the spring now. So according to that, he plotted a graph, and that graph is now just like this one, this experimental graph for the load and just extension. So suppose on this one extension I am taking, this one is load I am taking. So exactly, you can also take load on this one and extension on this one. Now for this one case, because load you are keeping by yourself, extension is now you are measuring. So now this is, you can see the graph is obtained in this way. So this graph is predicting the load applied on the system, that is directly proportional to the extension created in the system. So this is now the extension created in the system. This is now called the Hooke's law. Later this law was generalized as load is what? That is now the deforming force that we are applying per unit area. So that's why that is stress. So we can generalize this result as this is now the stress, and this is now extension is what? That is the change in length. So change in length is related to strain. So this is now the strain. So this is now the more general law of the Hooke's, that is called stress is directly proportional to strain. under elastic limit, not to that limit when the spring cannot tan its original configuration. Now for this one, if you will use only these here this bracket now, for that one you can have one of the proportionality constraint. So that proportionality constant is known as, you know, your elastic constant. So suppose that proportionality constant is E. Now we can write this expression as, in general, stress upon strain. So now next one, this is now the elastic constant, that is measuring exactly how elastic the body is, how what is the degree of elasticity in the body. So that degree of elasticity can be measured easily by using this elastic constant. Now after this, as you know, strains are of three types, strain of three types. So definitely elastic constant should be also of three types. So now we have three types of elastic constant. The first one, as you know, let me rub this one. The first one, as you know, there can be the change in length. So for change in length, the stress is what? That is longitudinal stress. And strain for the product, for longitudinal stress, again the change in length we are getting, that is also longitudinal strain. This ratio of strain and strain F should be equal to elastic constant according to Hooke's law. That is now known as Young's modulus of elasticity. And it is represented by now Y. So we are representing Y is equal to longitudinal stress to the longitudinal strain. Now you can take a wire, you can apply the force on that one, and you can see how much change in length occurred. For example, suppose I have taken a wire here, and on that one wire we have applied some of the force to deform its length. So due to application of force per unit area, suppose the deformation of the length is obtained as delta L, original length is L, and area of this one on which the force is applied A. So overall this Y can be written as stress is force per unit area, strain is now change in length upon original length. So this is the method to calculate the Young modulus of elasticity, through which we can easily know whether the wire or any material will get elongated along its length or not. So this is our first thing, that is giving us information about the material. Material can be deformed or not, that we can know, and this knowledge is very useful to design a lot of instruments that we are using, or lot of bearing things we are using at our homes. We can whether give some shapes or not, like bangles and whatever you are using for that one, this knowledge is must there. Now the second thing, for the change in volume. The second type of configuration we have change in volume. So as you know, the change in volume can be obtained by the application of volumetric stress to the volumetric strain. Means here the volumetric stress is applied, then the strain created is volumetric strain. And this kind of the elastic constant is known as the bulk modulus. And now we are denoting it by capital B. So we can also write down here, if we have any this kind of things, that if due to the application of force per unit area, change in volume, that is delta V here. So this volume is now V minus delta V, original volume is V. So we can write it F by A upon volumetric stress is what? Delta V by V. And also you know, if we will apply the pressure from all possible directions, so that is known as atmospheric pressure, or that is exactly the pressure, the definition of pressure. So we can also write in place of this, that is P delta V by V. And as volume is decreasing here, so we are using minus sign. This is now the expression for the bulk modulus of elasticity. Similarly, you can find out the third kind of elasticity, that is for the shape. So that is now for third one, as you know, for along the shape, the stress is shearing stress and the strain is shearing strain. So it means the ratio of shearing stress to the shearing strain is known as here the third type of elasticity, that is called modulus of rigidity. So this is now our third kind of elasticity that you can easily calculate. So modulus of rigidity is denoted by eta, and the shearing stress, that is again calculated by F by A, force per unit area. And now strain produced here, as the figure I have given you before that one, it was changing the shape by some amount theta. So directly you can calculate theta and you can find and in theta can be easily calculated by the tan value of this. So this was now the easy explanation, I think, for the elastic constant, stress, strain, and now you can recall it already. You can just revise it already. So just let's end our class here with this revision. In next class, first we will see some more basic topics, and then we will start conceptual problem or to discuss some conceptual problem on the chapter. So thank you students for today.